astrologer Wonder Girl, and I am here to give you your weekly forecast for the week of Monday, June 5th through Sunday, June 11th. Now this week, I really see all about being about a perspective change, changing your mind, changing the way that you think about your life and the stories you tell yourself and how your life is going to go. You know, things are changing and they're changing fast, especially the last week of June. We had a whole bunch of new energy come in, a lot of new opportunities, a lot of things come up, perhaps some things that were unexpected in some ways that were meant to redirect and shift our life into new territories that we haven't experienced really for the past 6 months, maybe even a little bit longer, since the eclipses last year, September, that kind of thing. And now we're finally coming into a new part of life, and I think our mind needs to catch up to this and needs to realize, okay, things are different, things are going in a different direction. Now, how can I live this life according to a new set of rules and not the old ones that are holding me back this week? Okay, a lot of that is because to be honest, I don't really see too many huge alignments going on this week. Yeah, I mean, maybe at the beginning of the week there are some, you know, maybe frustrating things, some things indicating patience, but those are surrounded by some really, really good positive aspects that we came off of at the end of last week. And then at the end of this week, we've also got some more positive things going on. So I don't see things being too bad, actually. I see us kind of starting to feel that things are getting better, but being hesitant that maybe they're not going to get better. Maybe, you know, this is as good as it's gonna get. And I think this week we really need to realize that things are changing. You gotta bring your mind on board and you gotta move forward, you know, because when you don't adjust your mind, you know, it's hard because sometimes in a way you hold yourself back by thinking that things are always gonna be the way they are in the past. You know, once you get your mind on board, then it becomes easier to make the changes and to do the things that it is that you really need to make in order to push more of these really good events that are coming your way, that are happening, that are in the astrology, you know, into your life and to incorporate more of those, okay? That's because even though we do have a lot of similar major alignments occurring last week and moving into this week where they just keep getting better and better, we've got Mercury making a lot of aspects. Mercury rules our mind. It rules consciousness. It rules the way that we think and communicate. So I think what's going on this week is a lot in the mind, is a lot in the way that we communicate, trying to figure out how to put things in the right perspective, where to move forward, how to, you know, kind of get on board with everything that's going on in our life. On top of that, we have tons and tons of planets shifting signs this week, okay? And when planets shift signs, it does indicate on some level, maybe some subconscious level, us starting to realign and redirect our lives and change our perspective and think about things in different ways. So that is why I say that this is what's going to happen this week. At the beginning of the week, we start with Mars moving into Cancer, okay? After it's been in Gemini, it's tired in Gemini, you know, that's been really crazy, done a lot of work, and now we're gonna start to kind of wanna calm down a little bit, want to be more peaceful, want to be more loving, get along with people, really create an environment that is safe and that is comfortable. And so that's what we're coming into at the beginning of the next week. No longer wanting to be crazy anymore, but wanting to get more in touch with the softer side of life, with our hearts, with what is going on there. Okay, there could be some frustration, again, carried over from the previous week, that relationships still don't quite get where we're going. I think things at the end of the last week started to pick up, things started to move faster, you started to see some more of the magic happen in your life, but I think there's still a little tentative feelings about whether or not it's gonna stay this way and actually, you know, be true. The sun is also in a square with Neptune. The sun is in Gemini, making a square, which is also not a new aspect, and that too can indicate maybe some frustration, you know, some frustration because you need to let yourself be more creative and you need to let yourself be more compassionate. And maybe we're kind of holding on to our consciousness, to our ideas of the way life has to be, of the way we want it to be, you know, and really needing at the beginning of this week to loosen up a little bit and to be more creative, to allow yourself to explore, to be more compassionate, to be more artistic in a lot of ways, especially when we have Neptune involved. You know, it's really a time to just kind of let yourself explore, at least on some subconscious level. You know, Neptune and Pisces, you know, rules a lot of your subconscious, and really needing to kind of let go, rewire and rework some of your insides, the way you think about who you are inside, what your life is like on inside, needing to do some of that. We've also got some really helpful quintiles at the beginning of the week. which are positive aspects. So as we're trying to reorganize who we are on the inside, in some ways, be patient in our relationships, there's a lot of us that we still want to move forward. We still want to create the life and the destiny that we feel is meant for us. You know, we still want to get this inspiration that we need. We really do want to open our hearts and experience more love and forgiveness and that kind of thing. And I think this week we're just trying to figure out how can we do this? How can we open ourselves up to some of these new experiences that are coming in? Mercury in Taurus is also going to be in a square with the North Node as well. So that's wanting us to communicate about our future, wanting to think about our future, maybe feeling like we don't know how to communicate or think about where our life is going, and really needing to kind of figure out what's the right way to think about this, what's the right perspective, how can I move forward in some ways. So I see it being very, very helpful. Also needing to think about our relationships in new ways, to be more, open to how we relate to other people. So a lot of that just coming in this week as we're readjusting ourselves and move forward. And then finally, I want to say around Wednesday of next week into the end of the week, it's funny because I feel like every week, we have maybe like a little rocky start, and then it just at the end of the week gets better, and then a little rocky start, and at the end of the week gets better. And we're constantly, moving up. We're like walking upstairs this entire month, to a really good place. But it's just like each week, we got to get up the courage to walk up more stairs to take us to a higher and higher place as we're getting there. And that's definitely what is going on. Okay, and at the middle of the week, Wednesday, I want to say, is when a lot of things start to pick up again. Uranus in a trine with the North Node, so unexpected things happening really fast. Especially, I personally like Uranus, so I think it does bring unexpected news in a very good way that can open your mind to new experiences kind of coming into you at the end of this week. At the same time that happens, we've got Venus moving into Taurus, which means our relationships, we're going to be working to get more and more on solid ground, more in touch with our heart and what we want. It's going to be so much easier to get in touch with our heart and what it wants. On top of that, Mercury is going to be moving into Gemini, so even if we had some frustrations communicating or thinking about things in the right way at the beginning of the week, when Mercury moves into Gemini, also communications are going to be a lot easier as we move forward to talk about what it is and what it is that we feel and want. So I see things starting to pick up there. Then at the end of the week, a lot of it is also going to be about overcoming some of your past hurts, some of your past problems, maybe having opportunities arise to move forward past some of these things that were hard or that were holding us back in one way or another, and real opportunity to act on what makes you happy, act on relationships, act on what you love, and to move forward in these ways. But the hard thing is that in order to act on these opportunities, in order to realize even that opportunities are there and that they exist, you have to change your perspective. You have to change the way that you think about your life and the way that your life is going, so that you can see the opportunities when they arise, and so that you can grasp them and take a hold of them and move forward when they do come up with you. Because these kind of aspects, when you have sextiles, do indicate opportunities, but a lot of times you have to work for opportunities, especially because, we've got Taurus and Pisces here. They're water signs, and an earth sign, they can be a little bit more passive. So these opportunities at the end of the week aren't going to come to you. They're opportunities you are going to have to make. You are going to have to go out and get yourself. But once you take the initiative, once you move forward, good things will come to you, okay? That's why it's so important to figure out what's going on the inside and what's going on in the way that you think and relate to other people at the beginning of the week. And then finally, at the end, we've got more new energy coming into you about an entire new phase of life here, where you're going to have to think very differently about your power, about what gives you power, about how you relate kind of to yourself and to other people, and about what makes you feel strong. And then we end the week with Jupiter stationing direct, which is amazing news. Again, relationships turning on, more good luck coming to you. If we felt like things have been hard the past few months, well, that's about to change. Things are about to get a lot easier, especially with relationships. Neptune stationing to go retrograde. So as we have a lot of this good momentum with relationships, with opportunities coming to us, with doing, what it is at our heart, we're also starting to think more realistically about what we can and can't accomplish, about how we can actually put these plans in place and move forward. So there are lots of major perception changes and shifts this week about where our life is going, really needing to kind of move forward in the direction that we want to go in, communicate about what's happening, change some of the way that we think about things moving forward. The way that I've been thinking about this week, and how I'm going to explain this is, it's so funny, is this week I realized I've been going to work wearing like big sweaters, big baggy sweaters, long sleeves, things like that, still thinking that it's winter in some ways. And granted, you know, I live in Salt Lake City. It snowed 2 weeks ago, so it's not like a weird thing perhaps that I'm still wearing sweaters, but there's a part of me as I'm going to work that's like, you know, Brittany, like, girl, you gotta realize that like summer is coming fast and you gotta start wearing different things and you gotta start changing your perspective and moving forward. And I think a lot of us right now are still in that winter state of mind. You know, whether or not it's sunny or rainy or whatever the weather is where you live, I think a lot of us are still in the state of mind that like, life is so hard and it's never gonna change and like things have been like this for so long. And I think you gotta realize like, you know, it's spring now, winter is gone and summer is coming very, very fast, and you don't wanna let this opportunity, you know, pass you by. You gotta get in that like skirt and sundress state of mind coming on here. And so, so I think that that's gonna be a big thing for this week. Now your card is the Knight of Wands upright. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. You know, I love this card. If there were any knight that I could date or marry, this knight would be it, okay? Because this knight is passionate, is hot, loves just like energy and fire, and like wants to move forward and, you know, wants to just do what it loves and experience what it loves, you know. And he's the kind of knight that's gonna pursue you, gonna go after what it is that he wants, gonna do it in a way I think that's very measured and very methodical, but at the same time not let you forget how much he likes you, how passionate he is about you, that he does not just want to be friends. And so I think that that's the message this week, is you gotta move forward, you gotta be passionate, you gotta chase what it is that you love, and you gotta let go of all this junk holding you back and realize that new heart is coming, new times are coming as you move forward. The only problem with the Knight of Wands sometimes is that he can be a little hasty, you know, where it's like, whoa, like we just met and you already want to get married, like we just met and you already want to have sex, like can we take this a little bit slow? But I think this week, especially when we got the Knight of Wands, it's saying be hasty, like move things forward. I think we've been in a time of our lives where we've been so afraid, you know, to move forward, or it's been so hard for us to move forward. And it's like, now is the time, now is your green light. It's like even our haste this week, I feel like is still gonna be pretty tame compared to what it could be at other times of the year and other times of our lives, just because of everything that we've been through the past, you know, 6 months to a year. So move forward on your dreams, do what makes you happy, and get it done. All right, that's all I have for you for your horoscope this week. Thank you so much for watching me. If you like my video, please like it on Facebook, like it on YouTube, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.